Hey y'all, it's Sierra here, and I am going to be doing a walkthrough of the True Heart Tarot. This is a tarot deck by Rachel True. I believe it was released on October 13th. I just got it in the mail last night. So if you don't know who Rachel True is, let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see her picture. So Rachel True was one of the actresses in the movie The Craft. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to where y'all can see her picture. She was one of the actresses in the movie The Craft, but if you are a 90s kid like I am, you may know her from UPN's sitcom Half and Half with her, Essence Atkins, the woman from Family Matters. I think her name might be Thelma or Telma, I'm not sure. But it was like a sitcom about two half sisters. That's why it was called Half and Half. So she played Mona on Half and Half, and I think she was also in Half Baked as well. So she is a tarot reader. She's been reading tarot for a while. And again, she was also in the movie The Craft, so she decided to make her own tarot deck. And when I saw it, I thought it was interesting, and I went ahead and purchased it. So I'm going to be doing a brief walkthrough of her tarot deck. Now, if you don't want to hear me talking about how I feel about the deck so far, or what cards I like, any of that stuff, you can just go ahead and click on the timestamp to go straight through the walkthrough, where I'm just showing the cards, no talking, just going through the cards one by one. But I did want to show y'all some of the cards that I actually like from the deck. And some people, it's important to them before they buy a deck to know like what the cardstock is like, what the book is like, stuff like that. So I'll go over some of that information as well. As far as the cardstock, it really isn't the best. And that's because it's kind of like a cardboard type cardstock. I don't really know how to say it. It's kind of like cardboard. A little, I guess, kind of similar to, what is that tarot? The Light Seers tarot. A little, I guess, kind of similar to that a little bit. So it's not like the best cardstock, but I'm not really somebody that cares too much about it. Now, when it comes to cardstock that isn't necessarily the best quality, a lot of the times it's easier to shuffle. Especially if you do riffle shuffle, so it does shuffle very well, which is important to me because I have very small hands. So, what is that deck? There's a deck, I can't think of the name of it, but the cardstock is really, really nice. It's really thick. It's like top of the line cardstock, but it's hard for me to shuffle it because it's so thick and the cards are so big, and I really like using that deck. I love the images on the deck. I think it's the Afro Goddess deck, but I don't use it a lot because it's hard to shuffle the cards for me because I have really small hands and they kind of stick together. So even though the cardstock is great, it's harder to use. So if you're looking for a deck that's easy to shuffle, this deck is easy to shuffle, especially if you have small hands like I do. Okay, so this is the book. Now, the quality of the book is a little bit better than the cardstock. It's kind of like magazine type paper. The images are not in color, but the paper is pretty nice paper. And this is a pretty nice book for somebody who is new to tarot. She does go into like tapping into your intuition. So she's giving you steps for that and exercises for that. She also goes into the history of tarot, if that's something you're interested in. She talks about choosing your deck, taking care of your deck, setting up an altar, keeping a physical notebook, or what I would refer to as a tarot diary. And she goes into spreads as well. And then she explains the numbers. So, you know how like if you get like a 5, no matter what suit it's in, it kind of means some sort of change or conflict or challenge. So she kind of goes over what the different numbers mean, and then she goes over the suits as well. So again, it's very nice book for people who are new to tarot, or people who just like they like to study, they like to learn. So then she also goes into the different elements, so how the wands equal fire, swords are air. For her, discs are what pentacles would be in typical tarot, and how that's earth. So she goes into that. She goes into reversals, shuffling, clarifiers, all sorts of stuff. So it's a pretty nice book. And of course she has spreads. I don't do spreads, but a lot of people do. So if that's something that you're interested in, she has a few of those in there. And each card has a full-size image, not color, but still a full-size image. She goes over the high vibe and low vibe, meaning the upright and the reversal. And then what her explanation of the card is, how she views the card. So that is the book for you. It might be something that I might actually take the time to actually read. I usually don't read the guidebooks, but I like to learn, you know. So she has some stuff in there about history and numbers and stuff like that, which I pretty much know that stuff, but I would still be interested in seeing what her take is on that. Alright, so here are some of the cards that I like. So we have the Queen of Wands, and I like the fact that she has several arms. Like, I don't know if you can see that, because sometimes I forget about the Queen of Wands possibly having too much going on. She has a lot going on. She's very attractive. She has a lot of balls in the air, so she's able to juggle a lot of different things. But on the reverse side, it could be she's doing too much. So that's kind of a reminder that that's what that card can mean as well. Then we have the Death card, and you can see there's like a skeleton like ripping open ripping themselves open, and then there's a person inside ripping themselves open. So it's like that transformation, renewal aspect of the Death card. We're constantly changing and evolving, or we should be anyways. So I like that. And then we have the Seven of Swords, and you see the person with their fingers crossed behind their backs. And we have foxes up here. You know, people say like sly as a fox. So that can represent deceptive or manipulative behavior. So this is a deck that will be very easy for people who are new to tarot to read. You don't have to know deep symbolism in order to read this deck. It's pretty obvious what a lot of the cards mean. So if you're new to tarot, this will be a good deck for you. And of course, it is diverse as well. I think Rachel is mixed. So, and she's experienced some discrimination when it comes to the promotion of the movie The Craft. So yeah, she has a diverse deck, which is what I actually expected from her. Alright, then we have the Four of Discs, which is the Four of Pentacles. You can see like he's kind of like hoarding the sunshine and the flowers. So that can kind of speak to the fact that you're holding on to something, or you're hoarding, or possibly being a little bit selfish. Or maybe that you just like to conserve. It doesn't have to be selfish. It can be smart as well. Then we have the Eight of Wands. So I like the fact that there's like a brain here that you can see. So it's kind of like how you can use your mind to manifest and move things forward for yourself. The need to not only do things physically to move things forward in your life, but to have a plan, to use your brain to think, and also to manifest. So I like that. Then we have the Ten of Disc, or the Ten of Pentacles. So we have a strong foundation here with the jewels planted in the ground, and then we have the peacocks, which represent prosperity and pride, and we have a family, and they have like a pretty nice sized house. So this can represent like inheritance, or just having a solid foundation, a solid family life. So again, it's just pretty easy for people to read this deck, even if they are new to tarot. Then we have the Eight of Swords, and to me this one represents the fact that you can free yourself if you just let go of certain things. You might have to let some things go, cut some things off, because as you can see, her hair is wrapped around each sword. But if she was to like tug on her hair, the swords would cut her hair, but it would free her at the same time. So it's kind of like you might have to cut some things off and let some things go in order to free yourself from a situation, versus keeping yourself stuck in a situation because you refuse to let something go. Then we have the Three of Wands, which to me this clearly represents having foresight, looking forward, because the person is looking forward and the ships appear to be behind them. So not necessarily just waiting on their ships to come in, but also having the foresight to look beyond as well. Then we have the Ten of Swords, and you can see Medusa is in here. So if you know the story of Medusa, how she got turned into like the creature with the snakes on her head, then you understand that there was a big betrayal that took place. Athena turned her into like this hideous creature. Not gonna go into the story, but if you know the story, then you understand why this represents betrayal. Basically, Athena and Poseidon were, they were kind of having like a little war with each other, and I think Poseidon assaulted, I don't want to say like the full words, but he assaulted Medusa in Athena's, I don't know what they would call him back then, castle, home, whatever. And so Athena turned her into Medusa, which is like a form of betrayal. It's kind of like punishing the victim, or victim shaming. So that's why the Ten of Swords would represent betrayal. So if you understand mythology, Greek mythology, then it would be easy for you to understand some of the stuff in this deck, because I do see some of that throughout the deck. Then we have the Four of Cups. So you can take this as he's putting his cup over the flower, or he's uncovering the flower, however you want to take it, but I like the fact that you can go either way with that. I don't know what this eye is yet. Maybe one day when I'm using the deck, this will pop out to me for some reason, but right now, just looking at the card, I'm not quite sure. I might have to look at the book to see if she mentions why there's an eye peeking out of there. Then we have the Two of Swords, and you can see it's like a choice between day and night and the need to balance. She's balancing on one foot on this tiny little piece of land. And then we have the Hanged Man. And it looks like he has like sunlight coming out of his head, like a halo of sunlight. So it's almost like the fact that he's taking the time to just chill for a minute. It's watering, it's nurturing the tree, the roots of the tree. So I think that's interesting. So I think there's a couple different ways you can go with this. Pretty quick intuitive hits you can get off of using this deck, just because it's pretty easy to read. So those are some of the cards that I like. I guess I can read a page from the book because some people like that. Let me see. Okay, so this is the Three of Wands. So high vibe, hope, confidence, success, planning, vision, inspiration, expansion. Low vibe, disappointment, frustration, dullness, poor planning, separation. And there's a few other words. I'm not going to read them all. So I'm just going to read a portion of what she has in the book because it's a lot. So she says there's a synergistic energy around you. Things are coming to fruition. The birds represent ideas in action. The figure in the card sits above the water. They aren't bogged down by their emotions. This allows them to focus on growth and expansion. Some may be losing interest in a current situation with wanderlust in the air. Your eyes and heart are the unknown. Travel may be on the agenda. Others may have done the work and are waiting for their ships to come in. Your personal power and determination can propel you closer to goals. Follow your inner convictions. And also, so this is the card I was reading. So I didn't realize this, but she goes a step further to tell you what it could mean in different types of reading. So for relationship dynamics, there may be an upcoming date or event on the horizon. Others may be keeping it casual with a plethora of choices at their disposal. There can be a transient nature to relationships. Clear communication is key. If you were to pull this for professional life, it says, in professional life, rapid growth is available. Opportunities might not fall in your lap, so be diligent in pursuing all leads. This is an auspicious time for planting seeds. And then she goes over the reverse meaning. All right, so that's some information about the book, the cards, the author of the book, and some of the cards that I like. So I'm going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of the cards next. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.